let me know. Oh, yeah. Oh, roll playback, quiet on set. Uly Monster on 3. 1.
Ready, Mike? All right.
Sporting touch of hands. Round number 1. There's that fast start, and that is the fastest knockout in bare knuckle fighting championship.
Hey, mama, no born in the Bronx, raised in Dade. Been in the city since Pit had braids. Baja Panty parties, but I know how to sneak me out. Now it's 7-figure meetings every day. We need a house. It's game time. The game's mine. You know the vibe. Yo, viajado el mundo entero, repping 305.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Don't Blink Podcast. As always, I got the kid in the building.
Oh, you know we in here, baby.
Yes, sir. How you been, man?
Man, rocking and rolling and rocking, never stopping.
I'm excited about today's podcast, man.
Oh, yeah, me too.
We have a dope guest on.
This is
middleweight, BKFC middleweight champion of the world.
Oh, yeah.
5-0.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually there when he fought last.
Oh, yeah, me too. I was there.
I was watching the fight and I started bleeding. Man, great guy, great friend of mine, man. I can't wait to introduce him. Francesco Ricchi, champion.
He's in the building, baby. Welcome to Don't Blink.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great to see you, brother.
Hell yeah. And we rocking and rolling, baby. This is another one. Not even ESPN could get these exclusives like this.
I'm telling you, man. Great to have you here, brother.
Great to be here.
Yes, sir.
Hard to find this place, but I'm happy I'm here.
I think I'm the only guy who interviews guys who's fought before.
Yeah, that's how exclusive it is. That's that camaraderie.
Yeah.
That's that real love and honor right there.
Absolutely. And we've always had great respect and a great friendship before we even fought. So that's awesome, man. It was amazing to have you here, brother.
Thank you, man. Amazing to be here.
Yes,
You're also one of the only fighters that has their own podcast, too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to take it to the next level. You know what I'm
That's another feather in the cap.
Yeah, we doing it. We doing it. We ain't trying. We doing it.
I know you just got back from vacation from Italy. How did that go?
It went great, man. Got to hang out with family. There's a buddy of mine that I grew up with when I was living there. He got married in Puglia, which is a great place. If you've never been there, definitely go. It's not like the touristy spots like Amalfi Coast, Rome, everywhere else that people go. A lot less people. He had a nice house over there, and he ended up getting married. I went there with my girl, my mom, my dad, and my sister. I mean, they were already there. We met up with them. And then after that, we just spent another 10 days on the Amalfi Coast in Rome and, kicked it. It was great.
Nice. Hell yeah. My brother, and also you're a Pisces like me, Pisces
yes,
gang,
sir.
dog. Yes, sir. Guess what? That's why we get along, bro. Man, we like to highlight our guests, dog.
Yes.
We like to start from the beginning. So let us know, born and raised, you know what I mean? Where'd you start at?
So I was born in Italy. I was born in Rome, Italy, and then came here in 2001.
That's why he's a gladiator, y'all.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Matter of fact, where we grew up was a place called Ponte Milvio, which is right next to the Coliseum. So, obviously, like the city of Rome, like the ancient city of Rome, is like as round as almost like going around the freaking Sawgrass Mall.
Shit.
So you got an entrance on the east, north, south. So we were really close to the Coliseum. We could actually see it. So every time you would go somewhere, grocery store, the place where we would go to the Swimming Hall of Fame over there, would always see the Coliseum, and it always intrigued the shit out of me that people 2,000 years ago built this.
Yeah. Would you daydream about fucking fighting and shit?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I sucked back then. I would always get my ass kicked. So,
yeah, that's what makes a good fighter. That's what makes a good fighter.
I had to come to Miami where the real fighters are. I had to learn how to fight.
What age did you get here?
So I got to Lauderdale in 2001. My dad had a good job opportunity. Him and his business partner were refloating sunken boats. And then my mom, she was a researcher, so she worked at UM, and she has for the last 20 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
oh, shit, man.
Man, but how was it growing up in Rome and all that, man?
Yeah.
it was great, man. I loved it. I didn't like it when I came here because I don't know if I was just a shithead kid, but a lot of people didn't get along with me.
Yeah. It's like a culture shock type of thing.
Yeah, I was very obnoxious. I loved doing little pranks and dumb shit that to me was hilarious. But here, the school system's very strict. You gotta be quiet in class and do this and do that and wear the same fucking clothes. And I don't know. I didn't really fit in here as well as I fit in over there. And then as I grew up, I started kind of adapting. But don't get me wrong, I still got in trouble. I got suspended from school all the time. Not proud of it, but just my upbringing is my upbringing. That's what made me who I am.
Right.
So my parents didn't even trust me. So I was always working with my dad. I was never allowed home by myself. And little by little, I ended up getting in more trouble, and then served some time. I did 6 months at Conti up in Lauderdale at the jail over there. And then I got out. My brother asked me if I wanted to go do some jiu-jitsu lessons with him. I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, nice.
UFC, MMA, cage fighting, I had no idea who anybody was back then. They said Ronda Rousey. I had no idea who she was. At the time she was famous. So then I started then. I trained a little bit. And then took the first amateur fight, got my ass kicked. I actually got slammed on my head in front of all my friends. I had some like a couple of boxing competitions, but no, not actual like sanctioned amateur fights, but like little shit back then, like tournament setting. And then I did that fight, and I got slammed on my head, and I'm like, shit, I need to go to the gym that I go to on Saturdays, which was Freedom Fighters, and those guys would, kick the shit out of me. Every single Saturday, I would go there, and I would get my ass beat continuously. So I'm like, all right, I live an hour away. I got to go here like just once a day or like, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. So I'd only go on wrestling days, which is the shit that I hated the most, because I'm like, damn, man, back then I was so primitive, and I didn't know that much about fighting, so I would always say, like stand and fight, like that's what a real man does. Once I started manhandling people, and I'm like, it's awesome, being able to put somebody on the floor and then cave their face in on the ground. This is awesome. I'd still rather stand and bang, me. But, as I started learning how to like fight more and more and more, I started to appreciate all the realms of fighting, all the disciplines, the ground game, the wrestling, everything else. My parents still hated it, but I just kept fighting, and now here I am. And then Bare Knuckle actually approached me after my pro debut, and then it's been a wild ride ever since.
That's awesome. And I remember when, because we kind of came on the scene almost at the same time. I think I had one fight before you.
Nope.
And then,
same time.
At the same time?
Same
Okay,
time.
dope. And how'd you end up from Lauderdale fighting in basically Kendall? An hour away from home.
So I had a friend of mine, Gendry, who's still like a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends. He was, we were all hanging out together with actually one of my friends that's in Italy right now, which was staying in the same dorm as him.
Okay.
So came over for dinner. We're there shooting shit, just hanging out with a bunch of friends. My buddy had his girlfriend, and we were all just kind of like shooting shit. And then he goes, "Oh, my buddy Gendry fights too." So as soon as there's like 2 fighters there, automatically you start like measuring each other. Oh, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And he was very humble. He's like, "Oh, you should come by my gym." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." I went to his gym, barely made it back home. I got my ass kicked. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought I was good because everybody at my gym I was better than. But my gym, even though my trainer was really good, it was more of a I don't want to say cardio kickboxing gym, but there were no people that were competing. The kids, they were competing. They were doing jiu-jitsu tournaments and shit. But
more of everybody there more of a hobby for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Down in Kendall, there were like fighters. There
doing
was
it.
Alexis Villa, Yoel Romero, Michel Batista, Yosandi Scared, like fighters. I'm talking about fight. The guy that beat Kamaru Usman, Jose Caceres, he was there.
That's right. Yeah.
He had just fought right before. I mean, we had some killers in there. And I remember I got my ass kicked by everybody on the mat. I think even a woman kicked my ass that day.
Yeah. We got Claudia out of that gym too. She's an ass kicker.
It wasn't her, but I definitely got my ass kicked by some chick.
Yeah.
So
that's an amazing gym, and we're actually speaking earlier because that same gym I started my amateur boxing career over 20 years ago at that gym, but it was under a different name. It was called Fierce Fighters or something back then. Then Tigre took it, and then now Manolo runs it. Freedom Fighters.
Manolo and Vila own it. Just Vila's in a little sticky situation.
Yeah. He's in detention right now. Shout out to Alexi, man. Hope to see you soon, bro.
Love you, my brother.
Yeah.
You'll be home soon.
Yes, sir. My brother, and so fighting. So what age would you say? When was he went to Freedom Fighters and started getting into fighting?
So I was going there like every Saturday because obviously it's far as hell, and I was getting my ass kicked by those guys because I always feel like wherever you find resistance, like that's where you need to go. If you suck at doing something, just keep doing it until you're good at doing it.
Absolutely.
So I feel like if you don't get some kind of passion, or if you don't get the drive to try to be good at something, you're not going to be good at something. So I was only going there on Saturdays, but Saturdays is just open sparring, So I would just go there, get my head beat off, and then once I finally made it to the fight, I fought this kid, Andy Perez. He was a wrestler. Like all he did was wrestling. He comes from Zen Jiu-Jitsu, so he's mainly a grappler. And he just manhandled me for like 3 rounds until he finally slammed me on my head in like the last round of that fight, and then ended up knocking me out in front of everybody there.
Shit.
I was coherent, but obviously like the ref stopped it. It was like 5 seconds left, and I'm like, shit. So that's when I was like, dude, everybody from Freedom Fighters won. So I'm like, I got to go to this gym. So that's when I started going there Monday, Tuesday. Every day that I could go there, I could go there. I wanted to go striking days, but I'm like, you know what? You're good at striking. You're bad at wrestling. You got to go wrestling days. Then I started going striking days, and I would get my ass kicked then too. And I'm like, I'm bad at striking too. So I got to learn how to fight all over again. So I started going there, and then I took my first fight in September from that gym, and I've been pretty much undefeated ever since.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Congratulations on that right there. Hell yeah.
And listen, take it from me, he is a striker. My brother, and do you own an auto body shop, or you got something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So I'm a yacht broker. Matter of fact, today I actually showed another boat, and then
nice, babe. We're looking for one.
Hey,
yeah, I got you, man. Let me know what you want.
For sure.
But I've been doing that because the majority of my life here in the States, I was always around boats. I was a captain. I had my 200 ton as a captain. I worked for numerous boat builders. I worked for Jupiter for a couple of other boats, a couple other marinas that worked on boats. I painted boats with another partner of mine. we were working at Lauderdale Marine Center. We were painting big yachts, like 115 to 200 footers.
Damn. Painting
Doing
them?
big stuff, painting.
Oh, nice.
And you would have like 2-3 guys like moving a block like together, and getting the entire side of the boat straight, then priming it. I mean, it was like tedious. You were out of the water for like months at a time, and your layaway is like a couple grand a day. That's how much they're paying to keep the boat out of the water. So doing that, being a captain, and then I started doing service work on a lot of marine diesels and marine outboards, and then I had my own company doing that, and I was like, man, this sucks. Nobody shows up on time. Customers don't pay you. Fuck this. So then I was working at another shop that was called Creative Workshop. All they did is like classic Excederinis, like restorations, cars that go for millions of dollars. I mean, they did a Ferrari 250 PF cab. That car went for a couple mil. They did a 250 GTO. That car went for 11 mil.
To just restore it or to like deck it out? Like on
Full-blown restoration. I'm talking about like there's competitions that you go to. There's a Concours of Elegance competitions where you have judges that literally look and make sure that the car is original. So they look at the numbers on the freaking cylinder heads.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say, because for 11 million, it's an original restoration. It's not, you're not adding no parts to this.
Nothing
no made in China.
Hell no. Cars that like you look at them, and even if you don't know shit about cars, you look at this car and you're like, damn, you can tell, like Aston Martin DB6s, like these like high-end cars that I was always in love with since I was a kid, because when we were overseas, when we were in Italy, my dad had a magazine that was almost like Popular Mechanics, but all he would do was like antique cars and motorcycles. So he was always taking us to school with a different car. Not ours, like we weren't rich, but he was always taking us to school with a different car. And I always thought it was the coolest shit ever. So I always had that passion. Yeah. Which he had to, because he had to drive the cars for, let's just say, like, a couple days, a week, whatever it is, to review them, put his review in the newspaper or in the journal, in the magazine. So I knew a lot about these cars that American people didn't know about, like the Isogrifos, the Rivoltas, the Stanguilinis, cars that people were like, how the fuck can you even say that name?
Yeah. I thought it was like a spaghetti or something. You just
straight up. Well, some cars look like them too, man. They used some spaghetti to make the cars back then. But I was working there, and then when I started selling boats, I was like, damn, you know what, dude? It was after I served time, and there was a little issue getting my broker's license because I had to select yes when it asked if you ever got in trouble before. Yeah. So then once I finally got that, I kind of veered away from working inside the shop, and I'm just kind of like, you know what? This working shit ain't get me nowhere. I want to be in the AC, wear nice suits, go to boat shows. And then when you know it, I ended up opening up my own shop anyways, where I do nothing but custom work. I mean, now we're doing a little bit of production work, but we do a lot of custom stuff. And I have my select clientele. Like I have my own, clients that I deal with, and I just deal with their cars. I try not to bring in too much stuff because I don't overload my plate. Because, fight week gets troubling when you got to sit there and fucking paint cars and do this and do that.
Oh, no, yeah,
Absolutely,
for sure. Yo, and you're restoring like old school whips, or is your body shop just open?
No, I restore old school whips. Like right now we have a K10, which is a 1975, like the old school pickup Chevys. Just redid that completely for a buddy of mine. He's a Fort Lauderdale cop. We've done a 1970 Chevelle that was a full frame off restoration.
That's
has
badass.
A new LT4 in it. I mean, just whatever crazy idea you have, I'll try to make it come to life. I'm not gonna lie to you, like I want to try to simmer down and maybe do more like more of the same shit over and over again, because there you could train somebody.
Yeah.
You can train an employee to do the same exact thing 4, 5, 10, 15 times a month.
Yeah, like rinse and repeat. Do it all over.
Exactly. But when you're talking about doing like one different thing every month, that gets expensive, because now you need to hire somebody that's got the knowledge. That guy's not working for $20, $25 an hour. That guy wants $40 an hour. It's all moving parts,
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I know you and Mike Perry got a little beef, and it all comes from kind of the auto body shop, doesn't it?
Yep.
What do you have? A custom car he wanted you to fix?
So he had a C63 AMG that he crashed. This was when he was down here training at Romero's gym. And then I took that car in. He had no insurance. He was just paying out of pocket. So I took care of him. I wanted to try to, I'm not saying that like I was friends with him, because I wasn't. I had trained with him once. Matter of fact, let's rewind a little bit. Let me just kind of start from
that's what we want. Yeah.
So he came into our gym at Freedom Fighters, and this was right after he fought Mickey Gall. He won that fight. He came down to Freedom Fighters. I think he wanted to go to Miami to train with Romero because he had beef with Till, and Till was scared of Romero. Mike Perry's not very smart. I don't know if you noticed, but so that was his reasoning behind it. He comes to Freedom Fighters. I think he came in through Alex Caceres, because at the time he was training there too. And apparently this was a day that we were doing nothing but wrestling. So we're wrestling. The last section of the class is us just doing wrestling, nothing but grappling, just pretty much takedowns, no jiu-jitsu, but with MMA gloves on. So you want to sit there and try to simulate, like throw like a couple strikes, but not really hitting your partner, and then shoot for a takedown, and see whoever wins. Apparently it was offensive for me to ask Mike Perry to go around, because we have 5 rounds, and then the last round was taken by somebody else. So I was like, hey, he's my weight class in the UFC. Of course I want to try to work with him. So I was like, hey man, like, do you have another round in you? super, so like, very subtle, like not calling him out or anything like that. So he just like, he's like, yeah, bro, no problem. So we start going this round and he starts throwing head kick. And mind you, no shin pads, like going balls to the wall. I look at my coach and Mano, and he looks at me, he just goes, and I'm like,
green light.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just started putting it on him. I mean, like I said, I don't like to like detail sparring. It's almost like, you talking about what happened that night with some girl. But since he decided to like talk about sparring, like now I feel like it's, green light. And I beat his ass that day. And then at Romero's gym, when I went over to Romero's gym, like at the end of the week when he was training there, he was very gun shy. Now all of a sudden this little guy, he didn't want to like pull the trigger as much,
Yeah.
And every time you would see him like, bite down on his mouthpiece and just say, oh, fuck it, I'm going to just come in, he would just get freaking sniped, So that's why I feel like he doesn't want to take the fight. But long story short, to like go back to his car, that day he was like, listen, I crashed my C63. You all told me, you've done his cars, you got a body shop, you do good work. I was like, yeah, dude, no worries, I'll take care of you. And I did. Fix his car. He had that car. It was damn near totaled. I mean, the entire passenger side of the car had to be repainted. Fender, bumper, headlights. And I gave him a super good price. And then he goes, damn, dude. He's like, how much did you get the headlight for? And I'm like, my cost on it was like $600. He goes, what the fuck? He's like, family sold me those headlights for like $6,000. And I'm just kind of like, dude, I'm not like that kind of dude, like whatever. I'll take care of you as best as I can. Picked up his car. Everything was Gucci. And then, he crashed his car anyways. After he crashed his car, he got a Skyline, an old school Skyline. Paid a little bit too much money for it, but long story short, wanted to make a flying car and brought it to me. Car it had a couple of issues, was in good shape, but it had a couple of issues at first. Fixed those. Finally, we come up with a game plan. This was like April. Finally, I get paid from him, and he's like, all right, cool, I want to do A, B, C, D, and E. Give him an estimate, get paid. And then all of a sudden, like months into it, I broke my hand from fighting, but regardless of the fact, our timeline, he's like, I'm not expecting a car till January. I'm like, all right, great, cool. This can be done till January, but keep in mind, like, this kind of shit's expensive. We've got to, everything you got to do on that car is custom, because not to mention the fact that it's a car they didn't build a lot of, but that's a very unique car in its own sense. I mean, great car. It's got 4-wheel drive steering, so like all 4 wheels steer. It's got a system called HiCas.
Oh, shit.
When you're expanding, you're trying to go with bigger wheels, bigger this, bigger that. There's a lot of things that you got to sit there and take in consideration, because you want your car to look like that. All right, great. You also want to fucking drive the thing. So it's like, if you want it to look like that and you want it driving right, there's certain steps that you can't skip. So you're going to run into some shit, little stuff like, you got to move the gas cap a couple inches back because, the fender flare is going to look this way because I don't want it to look all cheap. You got to build the kit, so you have to make a plug and then make a mold, build the composite parts, then put them on the car. All this little stuff, that's shit that I've learned through years and years and years of experience. He gets to the point where I don't know if he chewed up all the money that he got when he got the shit kicked out of him from D-Rod or what, but all of a sudden he wanted his car back right away. And I'm like, listen, Mike, here's the way it works. Like, I'll give you your car back right away, give you back the parts, give you back what's left in the budget, but your car's not going to be done at least until October. This was back in maybe August. He goes, oh, all right, cool. Then all of a sudden he starts really pressing the envelope in September, sends me a demand letter from an attorney. So I call him and I'm like, hey, man, thanks for the wiping paper. Come here, get your shit, get out.
Yeah.
You like, that's the route that you want to take it? All right, man, fuck you. They're saying that they wanted to like sue me for damages and stuff like this. I'm like, I don't know if you know how this shit works, buddy. You're not changing the engine to a freaking Tahoe. You're not, replacing the brakes on this car. You're trying to build something that's completely custom, something that if you take it somewhere else, people are just going to be like, all right, dude, I don't really know what to do. Or they're just going to tell you.
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Or they're going to tell you, hey, man, I'm not going to charge you like what I'm charging you because I was really taking care of them. The way that I saw it is,
you would charge them the real price of what
they would charge
really
them the real price. And the way I saw it is Mike wanted to learn how to do this shit. His text messages to me is like, oh, I would love to like learn how to do this shit. I was like, dude, grab a 6-pack, come to the shop. I'm open as fuck. Anybody that wants to come to my shop and see what we do, you are more than welcome to. I'm not hiding shit. Matter of fact, I'll drop my address on here. So you're more than welcome to see how we do things. No problem whatsoever. His car, all of a sudden, that changed. He moved back to Orlando, none of that. So, like, I wasn't really going to get any exposure. Don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not like that was necessarily a factor of the price, but it would have been cool to have him in there, show him how to do, like, a couple things, and also get the exposure of his 600, 700,000 fans coming, and viewing the story, what I'm saying? And, like, knowing everything. And then all of a sudden, I just got to a point where I was like, all right, man, you know what? Screw you. Come pick up your shit. Get out of here. And then our deal was that he would get back X amount of money. Me and him would fight, and I'm like, all right, no defamation. I shook hands with his manager, Pete Zachary. I'm like, do me a favor, dude. I can't really, like, I don't have the voice he does. I've got fucking 1,200, 1,500 followers. He's got like 700,000. Like, I don't want my business that I've built up over the last 4 or 5 years to take a hit because of this fucking retard that's bipolar, Yeah. Like, we'll sell this shit, no fucking problem. Like, you take 20% of what you make. I mean, he made me a deal in bare knuckle that was great. I'm like, all right, cool. Accept the fight any day of the week. I'll take the fight. I don't think he'll take the fight, but I'll take the fight any day of the week. I've never turned down anybody, especially in bare knuckle. So long story short, Gave him some cash, and then like we were like set on this plan, and then all of a sudden Mike starts talking mad shit on that BKFC podcast, and I was like, okay, that's when everything kind of went south, and that's when I was like, I won't take the fight, like I won't fight you. I'm like, I'll fight you for free. Like, what do you mean I won't fight you?
Come
Like,
to the shop, boy.
I'll fight you for the exposure. So that's when everything just kind of like went down south, and then Bare Knuckle was like, all right, cool, you got the fight, and I was all right, bet. I felt like I got done dirty from Bare Knuckle just because the fight in November, like, it was a no-show. Like, I had, like, 3-4 opponent changes or opponent pullouts, actually 5 opponent pullouts that week. And I get to the event, and they're like, oh, you're fighting. We can't afford for you to think that you're not fighting. We need you at your A game. You're going to have an opponent. This person, that person, that person, that person. The last person that took the fight last minute, I'll fight anybody. You know, I'm here just to fight. Like, wants to get his foot through the door because a lot of people want to get in Bare Knuckle. When Bare Knuckle first started, of course, you need to like build up, you know, your roster. But like now that Bare Knuckle is established, everybody wants to get in.
It's hot now.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to get in there. Everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants to get the exposure. Everybody wants to be part of the most brutal sport in the world. So it's like now, you know, people were there like, oh, whoever the hell pulls out, I'm here, you know? So I'm all right, cool. I sold however so many tickets that I sold at the time, which obviously was a lot of fucking tickets, even from Miami, which is not right where I'm from, but sold a decent amount of tickets. So they didn't tell me anything until I get to the event. I get to the event, even pay $100 for valet because I was late. Run in there, all of a sudden I'm like, and Nate's like, hurry up, you got to go to the rules meeting. I was like, all right, cool. So I got an opponent. He's like, no, I'm sorry, man, nobody showed up. I was like, the fuck would I go to the rules meeting for, you know?
Yeah, give him $100 back for the valet.
When was this?
November 12th. That was when Lombard and Hunt fought.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one. So I felt like, you know, me and BKFC were just kind of like, I don't want to say butting heads, but there were some like, I felt like I got done dirty because of that. Because a lot of times, like, my fans aren't, I'm not like him that like everybody in Miami knows him, you know? He's got his fans, his family, his friends, and then he's got his fans, the people that know Uly Monster that want to go watch you. The people that see that shit on the billboard go, I want to go watch that. I don't have that. I'm not popular like that. Not yet. I mean, at least my career just started. So people that come watch me fight, people that I've met through either selling boats, people that I've met through working at the shop, people that I've met through being in Fort Lauderdale and doing this, doing that, you know, through the fight, people that physically have shaken my hand before, had a conversation with me, you know, went out to dinner with me, people that I know. People that also have kids sometimes, people that also have jobs. So if they got to get a babysitter for that night, come down to the fight, and all of a sudden,
you're not going to fight.
Spend $100 on a ticket, $100 on a drink. Yeah.
Peekaboo. You know, I'm not fighting. They don't give a fuck about Bare Knuckle. I mean, of course, like, cool to see your boy fight, but you're supporting him. You don't necessarily care, like, whether he was
all
playing
the other fights,
saxophone.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who they're supporting. So a lot of those guys, the next time around when I fought Boswick, they didn't buy tickets.
Yeah, they were like,
look,
where they went last time, Papi. What happened?
So I felt like, hey, you know what? Not only I also had to roll the sponsors over into the next fight. Like, it was just, it was a bad situation that unfortunately happens. But the thing that pisses me off is I've had when I tell you every injury, I mean, bro, I've had every fucking injury, not pulled out of a fight. Matter of fact, in our
actually
fight,
on the 3-second knockout fight. Not in your fight, but when he did the 3-second knockout, you fought that time.
Yeah, he got hit in the throat that time.
I got hit in the throat. Well, that was injury during the fight. I got hit in the throat that fight, and I kept fighting, you know? When I fought him, I had a torn. So I was on crutches 3 weeks before our fight.
Oh, shit.
And thanks to some really good fucking doctors, the Remedy IV, my buddy Alan, like, I got PRP, I got exosomes, everything that I could possibly do to try to fix this enough. And I was sparring fight week because I didn't get any sparring before then. I did everything I could. And matter of fact, it ended up being a much better camp than the other ones because I felt like something was wrong, so I need to make up for it. And I was just kind of like, you'd be damned if I stepped inside with that motherfucker not prepared.
Yeah.
So I've had every injury in the book. I've never pulled out of a fight. So I don't understand why these guys are getting, especially the money that they're getting, because Bare Knuckle pays you good, especially when you show up last minute, especially to save a ticket seller, you know, or somebody that at least like needs to be on the card. I can never understand people like that pulling out for a sore thumb or fucking sickness or, you know what I'm saying, a staph or something like that. I fought Boswick with a staph infection. It happens all the time. And I'm also the person that if I was to lose that fight, nobody would ever hear that I had staph infection. I'm like, I lost because I was on staph. I lost because of this or because of that. So that kind of sucked. Then they promised me the Perry fight. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Julian Lane things start popping up, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, the fight's already done. You know, me, Julian Lane, this and that. You know, Perry goes, oh, it's official, you know, in the camera. And I was just kind of like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But that's how that whole thing came to be. But all in all, like, I'll say it right now as clear as I can. I like Mike Perry as a fighter, like Mike Perry's stock. That's all cool. I don't respect him at fucking all as a person. I think he's a bitch. I know somebody that, a really good friend of mine that's actually one of my attorneys, who's actually also one of the attorneys that's helping me out in the bullshit that he fucking just got me involved in. That actually one of them already got dismissed, but whatever. Let's just not go too deep in that.
Right.
Because, you know, his wife is best friends with Mike Perry's ex that he beat the living shit out of, that ran away from him, from their house, was hiding at his mom's house, that he also threatened to drive his car through his mom's house to get inside and get at her. So it's like, that kind of shit I can't respect. So when people say, oh, great, great father, great, I don't think he's great. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't.
Cool. So right there, Mike Perry, you invited to the Don't Blink podcast next year. Rocking and rolling. But that's enough about him. Yeah. Hey, listen to me. Italy.
Uh-huh.
Tell me about...
My bad. I didn't mean to go on a rant.
No, it was good. It was good. It was great. I'm glad you was able to use this platform to get it out. Because, you know what I mean? We rocking and rolling. And you know what I'm saying? And I want to let the people know a little bit more.
But hold up. Before we jump back to Italy, let's talk about something he just brought up too.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The fight, we fought the same night. That was November 13th of 2020. Yes, and you I forgot who you fought.
Noah Cutter.
Noah Cutter, man. Shout out to Noah, man. Cool guy.
Good dude.
You got hit in the throat. Yeah. You got back up, because he dropped you in the fight. You ended up getting back up, beating him, and then fucking on the way home, you told me, because I found out through Yoel Romero. I was like, oh, you heard what happened to Francesco? He's in the hospital in a coma. Like, get the fuck out of here. We just fought together. I just saw him.
Yeah. Got saw you at the after party. We were there together.
That's
remember?
Right.
You had the red suit on. That's
right. That's right. Yeah. And fucking, I remember. Yeah, I texted you a couple times, no answer back because you were in a coma. What was it that happened?
So, in the first round, I got hit. First of all, I was I pride myself on vision for punches because I feel like if you could see it, you won't get knocked out. Right. And I did not see what the fuck I got hit with. I don't remember what happened. I thought I actually got hit in the stomach because out of nowhere I just couldn't breathe. I heard it was loud, like whatever it was loud, and I knew that it hit me. But I didn't know where it hit me exactly. So all of a sudden I go and I noticed that I'm like, shit, I can't breathe. Like I really can't breathe. Like it's not like just, whatever. Yeah. It didn't even feel like a body shot. It felt like somebody like pressuring my throat. But everything is so high paced in a fight that you don't really have like conversations with yourself. It's like, especially in 2-minute rounds.
Right.
So next second I'm on the floor. But I wasn't like, when I got up against Boswick, I was dazed. I was freaking holding on. You know what I'm saying? Like there I was hurt. I got up against Noah. It was a flash knockdown. I got back up to my feet. I was Gucci. I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. And in my head, I'm like, all right, well, keep your composure. That's always what I like. Try it, no matter what I'm doing, spirit, whatever, keep your composure. Just be calm. Like you'll figure this out. And I could not figure it out. And it got worse. And when it got worse and I started to get really asphyxiated because I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see either. Like I started seeing shadows. I remember Mergliata got me up to my feet and I'm looking way past him too. And he's like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He goes, I'm over here, buddy. And I'm like, oh, I know. I'm just looking at my opponent. No,
damn.
I was looking outside of the ring. I was looking, But then all of a sudden I get back to the corner and Manolo gives me some water and that clears out my throat. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could finally breathe. After that, I was good. I guess the adrenaline took over. I was kind of like back to my senses. And I feel like Noah definitely emptied the tank trying to get me out of there. And like when I started coming on strong in the second round, he was like, oh shit. I probably emptied too much. After the fight, every minute, every hour that would go by, it was worse and worse for me to breathe to the point that I couldn't really talk well at the after party. Wasn't enjoying myself. So I was like, I'm going to go to my room. I had a room there at the Intercontinental. Go upstairs, lay down. As soon as I lay down, I feel all this like fluid kind of come up almost as if I'm choking, but from the inside in.
Fuck.
So I was like, all right, man, if I go to sleep, I might not wake up. So I'm like, let me just, and I never do. I'm the kind of guy, like, I'll have my eyeball hanging out of my head.
Yeah,
like,
I ain't going to the hospital. Yeah, I'm the same way.
That time I was just kind of like, you know what, man? It'd be pretty foolish to die in here. So I was like, let me just go to the hospital. And I went to the hospital, and I'm not going to lie. There's some shit that I remember vividly. As I was going there, it was getting harder to breathe. But I remember there was a train tracks coming down. And I'm like, I got this, And I was like, nah, you should stop. I was like, nah, fuck it, keep going. Nah, you should stop. No, you can keep going. And finally, I was like, fuck it, I'll just keep going. And I caught the railroad crossing coming down. And I made it. Once I parked the car, walk inside the waiting room in the hospital, they gave me some papers. Like, as like they're giving me the papers and shit, I just passed out. So I'm like,
oh my God.
If I would have been stuck at the railroad track, I might not, you know what I'm saying? I might not have made it. Maybe I would have. Maybe.
Yeah, because you would have stopped before the railroad track, but you would have been right there.
Man, listen, bro, he wouldn't have made it, dog.
I probably wouldn't have made it.
Fuck, man. Hey, zoom in on that shit he got right here, bro. They had to give him a trachea, fucking. That's some serious shit he went through, man. You're fucking.
I woke up and I was.
Gladiator, dog.
When I tell you, I've never done drugs before. I've smoked a joint in Colorado. That's about it. I'm not even a big drinker. When I drink a lot, but I don't drink often. It's not my cup of tea. When I woke up, I was on so many fucking drugs. And to make it all worse, since I didn't give them any paperwork, these motherfuckers were calling me an alias. They were like, hey, Hector, how are you? And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, bro, what the hell did you guys give me? I was like, and then I had this hole in my throat.
But you were in an induced coma for a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
Well, for how long?
3 weeks.
fuck.
Oh,
shit. So you went to the hospital, passed out, and then wake up 3 weeks later?
Exactly.
Holy
Because when I woke
fuck.
up, apparently what I was doing was I was trying to pull everything off.
You might have thought your name was Hector.
Bro, I'm telling you, and I was like, I was done. When I tell you I was fucked up on drugs, like, this is the best way I could explain a drug trip to you. If you ever have a dream, like a dream of like just like colors and weird people and like cartoon, like that's what the fuck I was feeling.
Fuck, dog.
I woke up, my boy was like, bro, I gotta come see you. I don't care where you're at. Like, I'm coming. I was like, all right, cool. I text Rob Sanfilippo, which is a buddy of mine.
Yeah, I know Rob.
I had a dream. I completely thought that this was a fucking hotel that I'm in, right? Like the hospital that I'm at. I completely thought it was a hotel that I was in. I thought Romero was in the next room over, right? And I'm sitting there texting Rob like, yo, you got to give me a hotel room. My boy's on the way. Like, that's how tripped the fuck out I was.
Damn.
Then I get the bill from the hospital and I noticed that I was like, I was like, whoa, that makes sense. I couldn't text. Like, my motor skills were all fucked up too. I couldn't text right. Like, my messages like were like maybe 2 letters out of the fucking 4 of the words were like, coming out right.
Bro, and fucking, damn, that's fucking wild, dog. So you thought you had just passed out and woke up like an hour later or some shit?
I thought I woke up the next day.
Fuck.
And I'm like, yo, y'all got to get me the hell out of here. I got to go spar.
Damn.
And they're just like,
hey, and you're looking at the middleweight champion of the world now, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You beat a lot of odds
Made
to
it
get
back.
there. Yes, sir. Hey, and I don't know if you want to touch on this, but I know you beat cancer also.
yep.
Yeah.
Before that fight, actually.
I know before that. What happened there?
So I caught it early, thankfully. Something funny came back, like on a blood test, and then my doctor, because I showed him something that was like swollen, like down here, that I thought was actually a zit, and it was close to like this lymph node, close to the groin area. I thought it was like a zit or an ingrown hair or something like that. And he goes, listen, let's do this, and he prescribed a PET scan. Didn't like the results that we got, obviously. And then he ended up doing a biopsy, and he scraped off some excess and cultured it, and it ended up being non-Hodgkin's B-cell lymphoma. Caught it pretty early, thankfully, and then I did 4 weeks of radiation with stem cell injections, and it was like pinpoint radiation, and that shit sucked. I mean, like, everything that I would taste was like putting a freaking brand new tampon in your mouth. It was like cotton mouth, like cotton mouth, like no taste whatsoever. Coke tasted horrible.
Fuck.
Like, when I say horrible, Coke tasted like shit. The pills and the crap that they were giving you was just fucking horrible. I mean, that was and to make it even worse, I never put that weight back on before the fight that I had with Noah. And my dumb ass thinking I'm like, Incredible Hulk, like, oh, no, nobody can stop me. I can do what I want. I wanted to take that fight so bad because I'm like, I don't want to wait any longer.
Right.
Last fight was in February. I got to fight. And then I never really put that weight back on, and I felt like everything was coming in slow motion. Not taking anything away from Noah. Maybe Noah would have knocked me out in the first round if I was ready. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I know myself. I know how I fight, and the mistakes that I made in that fight, which were a hidden blessing, because of course I would rather learn in a fight that I won than learn by losing. But that could have been avoided if I would have just waited a little bit longer, or at the very least, took it a little bit more seriously. But the cancer, I felt so weak. When you have a dream and your punches are almost coming in slow motion, training felt like that. Of course, when you're next to the fight,
you're punching underwater and shit.
Yeah. And like, of course, when you're getting close to a fight, you convince yourself mentally, like, oh, I'm good. But bro, even in the back, I was hitting, I don't know if you remember, because, oh wait, no, you fought right before me, so you wouldn't have seen it. But I was hitting the noodles with Manolo in the changing room. And bro, I was like doing everything wrong. And I'm just kind of, oh, no, we're good. I feel warm. I'm good. I'm Gucci. And in my head, I'm like, I'm going to win. I don't know how, but.
Hell yeah.
Hey, man, thank God you did. And
Let's
thank
go,
God
champ.
you made it out of that, bro. Fuck. And so now you're in recession. All that shit's gone, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got to get checked like every 6 months.
Okay.
I haven't in like a year and a half because my insurance dropped me after that. But I will soon, I promise. I feel good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that kind of idiot that it's like I wait for something to be wrong to then notice that there's an issue.
We got any doctors in the building? Frank, man. And so bye-bye. What were you asking about Italy earlier?
No, I was going to ask him about Italy and like, how was it over there as far as like, what I'm saying? You grew over there to your teenage years, then you came over here.
7.
No, 7 years old.
This guy's young. He's still young, which is 28 right now?
Yeah.
This guy's still young as hell, bro.
Damn. Well, I mean, ultimately, after hearing everything that has happened, throughout.
Yeah, he's lived a 50-year-old
throughout
life
your
for
life,
sure.
man. You've been rocking and rolling,
I've done
baby.
a
It's
lot,
a
bro.
blessing for sure.
I never sat still, and anytime that I had like some time to myself, I always tried to make the best of it. I've tried a lot of different things, failed at a lot of different things, and just pick myself back up, and here I go. And I'm still not successful now. I don't consider like me, oh, hey, I'm successful, I'm good, I can stop now. Fuck no. Like, I need to keep it going, and finally I might find the recipe maybe by the time I'm 30 to live a happy life. But I've done it all. I've done a lot of the shit that I wanted to do too. Like my grandfather worked at a base where they were shut off forest fires with helicopters. They had, like the big orange bucket underneath. So I was like, I need to get my pilot's license. So I got my pilot's license. I'm a helicopter pilot.
Oh, that's badass.
I got it down in North Perry. Did that. Noticed there was no fucking money in it. And I was like, all right, bro, between trying to be a fighter, helicopter pilot, selling boats, and the shop, like, you got to pick 3 out of the 4, So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I just stopped doing that just because you need to fly for so long to like build up your curriculum, and then finally, and you're making $18 an hour, $22 an hour when you're in the air, which is like fucking 20 hours a week. And I'm just kind of like, can't live off of that shit.
Well, shouts out to my homegirl, Kino. Shouts out to Diesel. She just actually been doing her course to like fly like just little private planes and stuff like that.
There's money there. Like, definitely, I would tell anybody that's my advice.
Yeah?
Stick to fixed wing. Yeah.
Oh man! So she's doing her courses to fly. She's like, I just want to fly over there and have dinner over there and then fly back.
Tell her we all want to go eat there too.
Yeah, we
So
ride
let me
it.
tell you something cool. Down in the Keys, there's a place called Summerlin Key, where the houses have a hangar underneath them, and there's a landing strip right next to them. All of them have a Cessna or a Piper or a Cherokee, like all these planes that you can get. You can get one of these planes for like 40 grand, 30 grand, like in good shape. You can get your private pilot's license for $6 grand. You can't get a helicopter for less than $200,000-$300,000, and that's one that you probably need to overhaul.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can rent even an airplane at a friggin' any flight school. You can rent an airplane for like $65, $75 an hour.
Exactly.
You're fine. Helicopter's like $300. Not to mention the fact that that's a helicopter that only you and one other person fit in. You know what I'm saying? So definitely do planes, because if you want to do it for like your own private use, works out. And if you want to fly commercially, like, it's much easier getting a good paying job. So.
Damn, and yo, right quick, what's the name of your body shop?
Kratos Automotive.
Huh?
Kratos Automotive.
Oh,
Kratos.
okay.
Nice.
Kratos. I like that. All right.
What is it? That's a Greek name.
Yes, sir. The God of Strength.
The God of Strength? Nice,
Yep.
nice.
It was way before the movie, by the way. I know the movie came out. That was before that.
I'm Ulysses, baby. Greek name too.
Hey,
Bro, let me tell
and
you.
I'm too nice, baby.
Let me tell you. I've had like fights in bare knuckle. I had 5 fights in bare knuckle. You marked me up more than anybody else.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know if you saw, but
He's a painter, by the way.
the shot that I got you with right there.
Yeah.
You caught me
I hit you
right
with a body
before
shot,
that.
right?
No.
Okay.
So you slipped into the ropes.
Right.
And that, like, I hit you with a right and you slipped into the ropes, but right before that, you slipped the jab and you caught me with a hook right on the bridge of my nose. And if you see it in slow-mo, they played it after the fight. And bro, my nose was bleeding for like 3 fucking days.
Oh, shit.
And
Damn.
I mean, it was bleeding after the fight. You could see it, but like, you couldn't really see like the damage. But he hit me right in the fucking bridge of my nose. And I was like, I looked at you, I went like this, and you came in, and that's when I was able to land that shot. But
man,
I was like, bro, like when you touched me the first time, I was like, this motherfucker hits hard, bro. Which I knew that,
Yeah, well, let me tell you, man. For me the thing is, bare knuckles. It's a whole different animal. But I've sparred just like you, with probably thousands of times. I never get cut, man. But you caught me with a good one too, and I felt it was a good punch. But in bare knuckle also, you kind of feel like swelling. You don't know. I didn't know how to fucking gash my head.
Yeah, it was huge.
You know what I mean? And when I go to the back, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I see why they stopped the fight now. I got a hole in my head.
when I saw you with it, I was like, oh shit, I'm doing good, baby.
Fuck yeah,
but
man.
in it, like you hit me with like a couple good punches that I was just kind of like, them motherfuckers got some. When you train with somebody that's got heavy hands, like there's people that have heavy hands and there's people that can punch hard because they technically punch hard. When you come across somebody that's got heavy hands, they could land an ugly punch on you.
Right.
And people are like, that didn't look like a good punch. It's like, shut the fuck up. That was a good punch. Because they've got those heavy hands.
You know what? Talking about that, shout out to my boy Muhammad Usman, man. You saw him. A nice little check hook and fucking clean guy's clock. Yeah, it's true, man. My brother, what do you got coming up in the near future? What they're talking about you and Richmond? I
wish. I would love that. I mean, listen.
I thought that's what I saw him put on the gram because him and Hunt are going through it on Instagram, and he said that from what I read, that BKFC wants him to fight you first.
So here's the thing. After the fight, I had the knee injury. Well, I mean, I had it like before the fight. So I was trying to get that fixed, and we're going back and forth with Loomis. That's been a pain in the ass. So they asked me if I could fight in November. I'm like, of course I could fight in November. I wanted to fight Richmond when me and you fought. Richmond couldn't make weight, whatever happened. We didn't end up fighting. After the fight, they're like, hey, who do you want to fight? The interviewers are asking me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. It's not me. It's whoever they put in front of me, I fight. If I fight MVP, if I fight Mike Richmond, if I fight Mike, it is what it is. Like, whoever they tell me to fight, I'll fight. Now it's even easier because you're sitting at the top.
Right.
I need to rectify this as best as I can, as quickly as I can, because I want to fight another time before the end of the year. I would love to fight in November because that show obviously is going to be back down here. I just need to hurry the fuck up and do this quick. So I would love to fight Richmond, but at the same time, people were sitting there making it seem like Richmond was a champion, and I had to call him out, and I had to fight him. It's like, hold on, man. He earned his title shot. If he doesn't want to use it right now, put that Uno card back in your pocket. Use it when the fuck you want to. It's not Richmond's coming after for what I have. Now I'm the champion. When I spoke to Feldman the other day, he told me that Thiago got stripped. So now I'm the champion.
Official,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm undisputed yet because I haven't announced it, but, you know, I'm the champion. Who else is there to prove otherwise? So if Richmond wants the belt, by all means, I'm here. So I thought that the route that they were going with, so this is like what I got from everybody. I thought that the route that they were going with, from what I heard from the BKFC brass and the people that are in close,
they're still getting it together too. So it's hard.
You know what I'm saying?
Hard to believe.
And they do shit last minute. Matter of fact,
all the time.
When we fought, what was that? 23 days out, 24 days out.
Yeah.
You know,
and honestly, I swear to God, thanks to you, I found out because I didn't get you told me I got a contract with your name on it. I didn't get the contract for 2 weeks after that.
That was when I got it.
Yeah,
that was when I got it. And I told them, I was like, all right. Well, they're like, all right, it's you and Uly, and I'm like, yo. Can you motherfuckers give me something? Like, please? Like, can I start training? Because, like, I'm at the shop full time until, like, I get something. You know, I try to be in somewhat shape, but I'm not in the gym full time, so I want to know.
Yeah.
Still money to be. You got to make money. No, and you know what? Let's go back for a second too, because me and him almost had like a little. No, I'm not gonna say fallout, but we had a little discussion because obviously everybody knows he has the beef with Mike Perry over the car shit. They offered me the fight with Mike Perry, you know what I mean? And again, I'm just like him. I'm going to take the fight with anybody against Mike Perry. I would love to. Me and Mike have no problems personally. But, and you know, fighting a big name like that, they're going to pay you well. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take the fight. The shit was official. with me and Mike Perry. So he calls me. He's like, or you text me. You text me like, yo, damn, dog, I thought we were friends. How you going to take that fight? And I'm like, bro, they just offered me. You know, it was kind of a confusion there because of the way BKFC kind of runs their organization.
100%.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So they, from what I heard, you know, Dave Feldman was going back and forth, sitting there going, you know, is it Uly or Frank or, you know, and like it was going like this, you know, like which one's going to get the shot. So then I found out that like you had, but I didn't even know that you were like in the mix. I didn't know that you were in the running, and I didn't even know that it was official with you. Like when I called you or like when me and you sorted it out, I was just kind of like, yo. You saw me like 3-4 weeks ago at the fights. You could have at least told me that you were fighting, you know, that you were like gunning to fight Mike Perry. And then all of a sudden you're like, I did tell you. Remember I told you that I was supposed to fight him? And then the Julian Lane thing comes and I was like, damn, you did tell me that. I ain't gonna lie.
Because me and Mike were set up for a fight, and we were again. It was set up, and then Julian Lane, you know, went crazy on him at the fights, and then they like going off that drama. So I saw that coming. Then he started the drama talking about you on the podcast. Yep. So I go, oh, that's gonna be next. So it's always a weird mix up when the fights start coming around, man.
But back to the whole Lorenzo Hunt, you know, thing that's going on. From what I heard from BKFC and like the brass and like the connections I have inside there, that Quentin Henry was going to be fighting Gustavo for the belt.
Okay,
and that's the way it should be. Like I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Gustavo deserves that shit.
I agree. He's a shot.
He deserves a shot. I mean, there was nobody at 205 from the fight, so they pushed him up in weight, and he fought at that weight class. You fought twice at never at 175. You got the shot at 75 because you're a 75er, and like you fought outside of that weight class. It is what it is. Same thing with Gustavo. He had 2 fights at 205, 2 fights at heavyweight.
215, 220.
Not to mention the fact that he has a win over the fucking champion. So it's like that's what I heard. All of a sudden, I get this lonely ass message on Messenger from Lorenzo Hunt talking about, yo, Richmond turned down to fight with me. Take care of business for me, champ. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, what do you mean he turned down to fight? Didn't he like start all this beef and all this bullshit, you know, like to go after you? You guys got into the scuffle. You guys wanted to fight?
I don't know Mike personally, but I don't see him turning on a fight either. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy.
I really don't think he turned on a fight. Yeah. Like if I had to guess, it wasn't Mike Richmond turning on a fight. And I was excited about him fighting Lorenzo Hunt because let this bad boy heal.
Yeah.
Him and Hunt fight. Now when I fight Richmond, the odds are going to be like, you know, everybody's going to think that Richmond's going to smoke me. So that gives me something to fight for. Because then when I smoke Richmond or when I beat Richmond, when I win, regardless of the fact, great. If I lost, fuck it, I lost. You know what I'm saying? I fought my ass off. But when I beat Richmond, people are going to be like, how the fuck did he do it? Richmond just, you know, beat Lorenzo Hunt, beat this guy, beat that guy. He looks even more invincible. And that's the kind of shit that I love. You know, people that are just like at the top of who's going to beat this guy? What is this guy going to do? Those are the fights that I want to fight. Yeah. Because when everybody expects you to beat a B-level, C-level guy, what can you really fucking win? Unless you dust him, people are going to be like, ah, damn, you look kind of sloppy. You know, that wasn't a good performance. But if you smoke him, man, it's supposed to be that way anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are the fights that I want regardless of the fact. Then all of a sudden I was like, all right, well, what's going on with you? You know, if he turned on the fight, he goes, oh, I'm fighting at 205 for the champ. You know, I'm fighting Quentin Henry for the title. And I'm just kind of like, all right. back the fuck up. This shit don't make no sense. If Gustavo, which should be next in line because he won, I love Quentin Henry. I do. I think he deserves a title shot too, but I think it should be against Gustavo. I think the two of them deserve a title shot. If he's fighting at 205, like, what about Gustavo? He's been gunning for a fight. He wants a fight. He wanted to fight at the Hard Rock. They didn't give him the fight at the Hard Rock. They had better news for him. What's going on? Like, this kind of shit to me doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But whatever, I do as I'm told, bro.
We rocking and rolling and rocking.
We're at the bottom of that totem pole, so I feel you on that. Like, and again, to circle back, me and you was a last minute fucking
100%.
throwing the fight, and it ended up being for the belt. Excuse me. My brother, a question that I gotta ask you.
Oh shit!
We've asked every guest.
The alien thing, baby. I'm a fan, son.
Let's go.
I'm a fan. I watch this shit.
Let's go, dog. Tell me you seen some aliens, man, or do you believe in aliens?
Damn right. My fucking ex-girlfriend. How else would you describe her behavior, bro?
There you go.
How else would you describe the shit she put me through? Like, come on, baby.
Yeah, fucking A.
Whoop-dee.
Yeah, no, and let me tell you, Italy has some fucking crazy skies too, bro. You never know what you see over there.
Bro, let me tell you something. Fuck aliens. The people that lived before us, what the fuck were they made out of?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the shit they built in Italy and Egypt,
Tell us about it. Tell us about
Bro.
it a little bit. What you seen with your own eyes.
Bro, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm telling you right now. Like, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I know how an engine works, right? If you were to send me back 200 years and I would try to build an engine, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Like, it takes a guy, right? Like, an artist to build what the guy that built the engine, it was his time. Like, he was supposed to be there. That was his destiny. He built the engine. I wouldn't be able to do it if I went back a couple, even though I know the technology, I'm a machinist, I can do this, do that, put together a fuck ton of engines. I'm doubting my skills in being able to do it back then. That guy was definitely going to do it better than me. He was the one to do it, right?
Yeah.
The technology that they had back then is fucking insane. Like, if you look at how Rome was built and you look at the stones that they have, is crazy.
Wild.
Crazy.
They still can't redo it right now with all the technology we have.
The pyramids.
Exactly.
Same shit. Yeah. How the hell did they lift all those damn stones?
Yeah.
So that to me is fucking insanity. And not to mention the fact, keep in mind, back then, people were down at fucking 25, 30, 40. Yeah. It was a long life.
Yeah.
So you had these bastards working for you from the time that they were pretty much able to walk to the time that they died for an emperor. For a bastard like Nero that set all of Rome on fire, just to say, fuck this anyways. So I think, I don't know, man. There's definitely like some kind of magic going on somewhere.
So do you think it was like humans, or you think that was where the aliens come into play? And then
I believe in aliens. I don't think that they're these big-headed, goo-eyed motherfuckers. But I think that there's definitely other life forms out there.
I always like to say I feel like people like us are aliens, bro. You know what I mean? We think outside the box. We do, yeah, exactly, and we do our own thing. So, but yeah.
Do you think that we've evolved into, through the years of
I don't know,
2,000 years ago?
Like I get a lot of my knowledge from listening to Joe Rogan and the podcast, but they say a lot of cool shit, bro.
Yeah.
And when you think back to like the Egyptians and the pyramid times and how they developed that, and we still have no fucking clue about how they did that. So there's a lot of conversation of like, did we get to like this where we were. People were way smarter than we are at this time, and maybe that just died off, and we kind of started over. I don't know. It's
we just started over again.
Everything. I mean, everything kind of like fascinates me too. Like the shit that they're doing nowadays. If you ever take apart an iPhone and you see how small the chips are, they've got a computer putting together the microchips that go into an iPhone, the motherboards, like all the very small resistors that get welded together by a computer. Who the fuck built that computer? Yeah. All this stuff, like all the little stuff.
Yeah.
That fascinates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But I got a question for you now.
Yes, sir.
Oh damn.
I got a question for you now. Who would you want to fight next?
Who would I want to fight next? I'm not sure, man. I think my next fight, I think I'm going to do at 185, because the 175, that's something I want to talk to you about too. The cut for me, so I don't know, man. It's hard for me to get down to 175. You know what I mean? And I think it's hard for me to do it healthy wise. So I think at 185. Anybody in the top 5, I think I'm number 3 on 185, or I was up until recently. So I think I'm in the top 5. So anybody up there, I like to fight.
Okay, so maybe like a Doolittle or a Jared Warren or one of those guys.
Maybe one of those guys. Me and Jared are cool. Doolittle, I've been on before. Cool guy too. It'd be a good fight. My boy, shout out to Redneck Mundell.
Yeah.
Me and him have sparred a couple times. Great guy. He's doing amazing. But yeah, anybody in the top 5 for me, I think will be great.
Fair enough.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and me, who would I fight? Some
You know what?
fritanga
What I
right
wanted to
now.
ask
Actually, I'm
you,
hungry.
because people ask me this all the time about you. They're like, yo, how does he make 175? You're what? You're 6'3", 6'4"?
6'4".
6'4". How do you
Dude.
make 175, man?
To be honest with you, I would cut a lot of weight when I was fighting MMA because I would get down to 170. There I would cut a lot of weight because I feel like in wrestling you need a lot more muscle. Where in boxing, you've got a guy that weighs 145 pounds that cracks harder than most people at 180. You know,
Right.
You know, better than I do in boxing. Like when somebody punches hard, doesn't matter like what weight they walk around at. So in boxing,
and less muscle in boxing is actually
less
better.
muscle,
Yeah.
way better. You know, so in boxing, I normally walk around like very light. Like I got down to 175. I only got back up to 183 that night.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. Which normally when I fight MMA, I'll get down to 170 and I'll get back up to 202, 203.
Yeah, because they weighed us in. We weighed in at 175 or 174 each of us, and then the next day they weighed you in too, right? Did they weigh you in again? They weighed me in again. Actually, you know why? Because you got there late. We were doing like a meeting, and remember you were walking walking out.
Yep.
And I went in at I had clothes on and everything. I was at 190.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was.
So you didn't put too much weight back on.
No, I didn't put too much weight back on. But so we weighed in Thursday 174. A week we fought Friday. The next Friday I was at 214. I gained 40 pounds. Little
That's
bit of
crazy.
depression from that too. You know what I mean?
Everybody that watches our fight, matter of fact, anybody that watches any of our fights except for me and Boswick always goes, damn, you're like so much bigger than the guy. And I'm like, hold on, motherfucker. Mike Tyson was smaller than everybody he fought too. You know?
Yeah.
And like people don't understand too, like you're giving up something. If you got length, you're giving something up,
Right,
you know?
right.
So I mean, I'm comfortable with this weight and I can make 175 effortlessly. You know, really like it wasn't that big of a weight cut for me last time too. And another question that I had to ask you, by the way, speaking of like weight cut and stuff like that, what happened the day of weigh-ins? Because Sconzo called me, I about had a heart attack. He goes, "Hey, listen, man, I'm sorry to tell you, Uly was in a car accident." I was like,
Yeah.
bro, I was like, what? I was like, don't do this to me, man, please.
So I leave my house on the way to Wayne's. I got my fucking cooler in the bag with the Pedialyte, a styrofoam cooler from the gas station, some like fruits and shit. I got my girl. I had a steak and an avocado. I was gonna eat once it's time to eat, and we're heading up there, man, on Palmetto North, and on the lane coming up, I see it kind of happening, but I didn't. Whatever. So this tractor trailer hits his brakes. A box truck behind him starts hitting the brakes, and the guy behind him eating shit probably on his phone yoked this car into my lane trying to avoid them, and it was no way of hit him, hit the wall, hit the tractor trailer. Every airbag came out. My girl kind of inhaled some of that gunpowder that comes off the bags. Fucking, I had avocado and shit all over me.
That's crazy.
Pissed as fuck, haven't eaten for like a day. You know, you're fucking thirsty as shit. I'm cotton mouth as a motherfucker. Wrecked my our brand new fucking car. You know what I mean? And
damn, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I had to call these guys. I thought it was gonna take longer than it did. Luckily, you know, we had a great officer on scene. Got everything done. Jumped in an Uber. Went to the Hard Rock, and I couldn't wait until you were there. You know,
I'm
to see.
so sorry about that.
No, it's all good, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, it wasn't your fault. But so I'm like, yo, can I fucking just weigh in? I'm dying over here. I want to eat, drink. He said, yeah, but we need Francisco. I'm like, all right, look, thank God you live next to the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I know.
You showed up quick, and that's what happened, man. Yeah.
I would have given you a ride back down. I swear to God, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But hey,
that's breaking news, by the way. Don't blink. Breaking news. Nobody knows about
exclusive
that.
right there.
That's an example right there too. Anybody trying to pull out for whatever fucking reason, because your dog stole your homework, man. Like take it from this guy.
Well, and I'll tell you now that we're on it too, because I found out about your injury when you posted on Instagram. You said, "Yo, look,
The ACL.
the ACL." I probably 3 weeks before my fight went and got an MRI. I have stress fractures in my right shoulder since February. Because in February, shout out to Sawyer Depp, he hit me with a good punch. He dropped me, but I never hit the ground. I caught myself, and I think at that moment I caught
that's
myself,
when you torqued it.
I might have tweaked it. The next day, I thought I got punched. You get punched bare knuckle anywhere, it fucking hurts. So then this motherfucker hit me. Come to find out a month later, I'm like, yo, it's just still hurting. When it's all, I've had stress fractures since February, but you know how we do. We got to keep going,
and then
brother.
the thing that sucks too, man, is like when you get back in camp and you're starting to really push it. That's when you really start feeling it too.
Well, hey, my girl knows. I complain the only person I complain to is my girl every night. I'm laying in the middle like, oh shit. But yeah, man, that's the life of a fighter, my brother.
100%.
My brother, you got a young Francesco Ricchi, or just a young guy or girl out there looking at the podcast, man. What good advice or what motivational thing can we tell them? What gem can we drop on them?
Damn. You know what's funny? I watched the podcast with Jerry Grant.
Yeah.
And when you asked that question, I was on a plane going to Italy, and I was just kind of like, damn, that's a fucking good question. You know? And I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, man, you know what? Listen to your parents. Like that's one thing I would say. I pride myself a lot of the times, like at work, for example, I'll tell my employees, like, listen, you make a mistake, that's fine. Tell me about the mistake. You make the mistake once, we're fucking ahead of the game. You make every single mistake that you make only once, we're good. You make the same mistake twice, that's a problem. And I learn a lot from the mistakes other people do. If I see somebody doing something stupid, I'm going to be like, oh, shit, I can't do that, or I can't use that product because of that problem or because of this. When I was a kid, I was the opposite. I was the kind of kid that would see somebody do something, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you used it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and my parents, everything they would tell me, I would automatically tune out and not listen to them and listen to everybody else, man. My advice would be, listen to them, because younger me would probably look up to me right now because would think that fighting is cool, and would be like, hey, you know what? I want to get to where that guy's going. And if I would listen to my parents who have done the shit that I've done way younger, I would have probably been just a little bit ahead of the game. But all in all, I don't regret shit that happened in my life. Everything that's ever fucking happened, it was always, you know,
to build a man that's sitting in that chair right now.
100%.
Yeah,
and it's
for
also
sure.
because when you have kids, you're going to be able to tell them and use those examples that you went through to, like, if you read something in a book, you can't teach your kid as good as you can if you actually been through it in real life. You've been through it in real life, there's passion, there's emotion there. You're talking to your kid and you're telling them, listen, do not do this. And you're emotional about teaching them something, not just, oh, hey, you know, I read this in a book once.
Absolutely, exactly, yeah. Yeah, man.
That's good advice.
That's great advice.
Hell yeah.
You know what? And I love it. Shout out to you, Mom. You know,
Hi, Mommy.
you raised
Hi,
me right.
Papi.
I know I gave you a lot of headaches, but I'm here today and you raised me right. I love you.
Hell yeah.
My brother, I got nothing but the utmost respect for you. Nothing
Same
but love
here,
for you,
brother.
man. It was amazing to share the ring with you. Congratulations on being the champion of the world, man. And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to you keeping that belt around your
Hell
waist
yeah,
for a long
kicking
time.
ass for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for being
Hey,
on
man,
Don't Blink, brother.
I'm glad that you said you're going to 85 because I thought I was going to see the end of you. I feel like we're the best in the world, man, and like, that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like, you know, one more fight that you would win, you'd get right back into a title shot. But you go to 85, I think that's a great move for you, my brother.
Thank you. Unless I find a diet that works for me, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
Now we could, you know, now we could train again. You know,
absolutely, yeah. You know what? Now we can get some sparring in. What was funny is
100%.
we were setting up some sparring. Then he gets the contract. He's like, I guess we can't spar now. But yeah, man, I would love to be a part of your camp. So
of course, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
100%.
count us in.
Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in to Don't Blink Podcast. Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. We got Francesco Ricchi in here today.
Oh, yeah.
Great fucking story.
Oh, yeah.
Hard puncher, take it from me. See the scar? He got me, bro.
Hell yeah.
Champion of the world. 2 nights in the building.
And you know what it is.
Don't blink. Bow.
That was good. Sorry for rambling, also.
I think me and Two Nights got something great going on. We got some great guests coming up. It's gonna be dope. We got some dope people that already signed up to do it with us, which is great. A lot of people show us love, and it's because we love them back for sure.